Donald Trump calls for an end to foreign aid. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to UnwokeThoughts. Tonight, we are talking about Donald Trump coming out against spending billions of dollars in foreign countries. And instead, crazy idea, right? Spending it here in our own country. And he said that giving money to foreign countries should not just be a giveaway anymore. It should be a loan. We can give this money to foreign countries, but as a loan, and not simply siphoning money from our economy, from our taxpayers to give to countries that are not the United States. And I really like this idea, but he put a post out on Truth Social, and this is what he said right here. From this point forward, are you listening, U.S. Senate? No money in the form of foreign aid should be given to any country unless it is done as a loan, not just a giveaway. It can be loaned on extraordinarily good terms, like no interest and an unlimited life, but a loan nonetheless. The deal should be contingent that the U.S. is helping you as a nation, but if the country we are helping ever turns against us or strikes it rich sometime in the future, the loan will be paid off and the money returned to the United States. We should never give money anymore without the hope of a payback or without strings attached. The United States of America should be stupid no longer. Wow, I absolutely love this, guys. This is one of the biggest things, I think, that we deal with in America. For some reason, our government just loves to take your money out of your pocket, your money out of the economy of this country that you live in, and send it overseas to countries like Ukraine, Israel, and other countries. I don't know why they love doing this. But the Post-Millennial is reporting on this. They said just in, Trump calls for end to foreign handouts, says U.S. should only give loans. On Saturday, former President Donald Trump called for the end of all foreign aid unless it is a loan, not just a giveaway. In a statement on Truth Social, Trump said, from this point forward, no money in the form of foreign aid should be given to any country unless it is done as a loan. And here is the Truth Social post I read for you previously, but this post comes after the Senate advanced a $95.3 billion foreign aid bill. 17 GOP senators voted with Democrats to advance the bill for a final vote. The current version of the bill would send $48 billion to Ukraine. Wow! $48 billion to a foreign country. If you didn't know this, Ukraine is one of the most corrupt countries on earth. Where is all this money going towards? They say it's for the war. They say it's to preserve democracy in Ukraine. They say it's to save Ukraine from that horrible, vicious leader, Vladimir Putin. We heard that interview between Putin and Tucker Carlson the other day, and there were some very interesting revelations in that interview where Putin said that he was open to making a peace deal with the United States, but the United States apparently does not want to make a peace deal. The United States is putting all the onus on Vladimir Putin, and Vladimir Putin is putting all the onus on the United States. And then Tucker Carlson comes out and says, hey, one of the conditions for peace for the United States is that Russia gives up Crimea, which apparently is something Russia will never do, ever. They will use their nuclear arsenal to defend Crimea, and Crimea is a part of Russia, so I can kind of see, why would they want to give up some of their land? I don't know. I don't know how these things work completely. It just doesn't make sense in my head. But $11 billion to Israel, $9 billion to Gaza, and almost $5 billion to Taiwan. Wow, we're just like giving money to all of these countries. Just here you go. Here's some money. Enjoy it. Don't spend it all in one place. But a previous version of the bill had $20.23 billion for protecting the U.S. border. Yeah, this is that quote unquote border bill that they were trying to advance that was not, in fact, protecting the U.S. border, but there was $20 billion in this bill that essentially made illegal immigration legal because it allowed for 5,000 illegal immigrants to come across the border a day. So you tell me, is that a border bill that would cut down on illegal immigration, or is that a bill that would codify into law illegal immigration? It's very interesting. However, House Speaker Mike Johnson warned that the bill was dead on arrival. And I agree with Mike Johnson here if it passed the Senate. He said, I've seen enough. This bill is even worse than we expected and won't come close to ending the border catastrophe the president has created. As the lead Democrat negotiator proclaimed, under this legislation, the border never closes. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't close. And not only this, but they were saying this was a border bill. Well, $20 billion of it went towards the border, even though this money went towards things that would not close the border. But that was only a small portion of the bill. The rest went to foreign countries. So you tell me, is this a border bill used to secure the border, or is it a Ukraine foreign country aid bill with some money earmarked towards, border provisions that, like I said before, does not work? If this bill reaches the House, it will be dead on arrival, Johnson wrote on X. But here is Fox News even talking about this Ukraine bill disguised as a border bill. The Democrats were all up in arms about this because, we have a crisis at the border, and the GOP, the Republicans, do not want to fix this crisis. You can see because they did not vote on our border bill. But when you look at the bill, what's in it for the border? Just because it says border bill or just because there's a few $billions for the border does not mean it's a border bill. Most of it went to Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, and all these other places that has nothing to do with the border, unless maybe some of their people, comes and illegally goes across the border. But it's very interesting to see their antics. But here is Fox News talking about this bill.
A Fox News alert, and the Senate has finally released the text of its long-awaited border bill. Let's bring in senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram on what we know about what's in it. Chad.
Well, we know that it's 370 pages, and the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has reiterated the fact that tomorrow he's going to take a procedural step to tee up a test vote in the Senate on Wednesday, which would need 60 days. Now, everybody is starting to scour through this bill and fillet it as fast as they can. There's going to be a teleconference here with Chuck Schumer, the Majority Leader, and Patty Murray, the chair of the Appropriations Committee, at 7 o'clock to kind of go through the details of this bill here. When I look at this bill right now, there's this big consternation about 5,000 people a day being let in. Basically, if you get into the nitty-gritty, it essentially says, you will shut down the border if they have such a high surge, a current pace like what we're experiencing now at the border. That would essentially shut it down. So people are going to take and read and interpret certain things out of this that they want. Again, the question in the Senate is whether or not it can get 60 votes. Chuck Schumer, in his statement tonight, says that the overwhelming majority of senators want to do so. They need at least 60 to get this going. But the problem is going to be in the House of Representatives. And don't forget that there's a number of liberals, both in the Senate and the House, that don't like this. And, John, you could see a cocktail of Democrats and Republicans teaming up at the polls on both sides to possibly torpedo this bill because they don't like it. It's that middle that's going to be very important if they're going to actually try to pass it.
So this, among other reasons, is probably why Donald Trump is coming out against giving countries foreign aid without expecting anything back in return. At the very least, can't we just give it to them as a loan that we can recall if we have to, if we need to, under certain circumstances? Because right now, we're just simply pumping money into these countries, and we're just bankrolling these countries. And what is the American citizen seeing back from this? And also, once it was clear that this quote-unquote border bill was dead on arrival, what did the Senate do? Well, they took the border provisions out, and they just decided to vote on these billions of dollars going to foreign countries and just completely ignore the fact that the border is wide open and we have a crisis going on down there in Texas, Arizona, and California. So instead of trying to fix that and making a single issue bill with the border, they decided their priority was to focus on foreign countries and not our own country. But what do you guys think about this? What do you think about Donald Trump coming out against just giving foreign aid to countries without expecting really anything in return? What do you think about this border bill that was really not a border bill? And what do you think about this new bill that took out any border provisions and is simply just giving money to Ukraine, Taiwan, and Israel? Let me know down below what you think about this. Like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.